in the Know.
Welcome. Good evening. I'm Miss Jill, and this is In the Know. We love community. We love those who advocate for the community. So tonight we have two familiar faces who have done a lot of work in the community. So first, I would like to welcome Miss Alle Wims and Mr. Elijah Brown. Welcome. And V, Veronica.
Guys.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
Hello,
Yes.
welcome.
Again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us again. So this evening, we are going to talk about an event that is coming up, and not just an event, but a holiday, Juneteenth. So Mr. Brown and Miss Alle are part of the Macnificent Freedom Fest committee, which is putting on a Juneteenth event this Saturday, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so before we get into that, just a brief introduction. Miss Alle, we will start with you. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Miss Alle Wims. I am the executive chair for the Macnificent Freedom Fest. I am also the founder of Brain Geeks Learn, a.k.a. Brain Geeks Learn Children's Corner.
Thank you, Alle. Mr. Elijah, you've been in the building with us before. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good. Tell us a little bit about Elijah.
My name is Elisha Brown. I am the captain ambassador of the Art Leadership Center, and I am also the vice chair for the programming committee for the Magnificent Freedom Fest.
Okay, awesome. Before we dive into the conversation, let's first start out. What is Juneteenth historically? And then we're going to talk about the history of Juneteenth right here in Fort Wayne in our community. So let's talk a little bit about if somebody asks you, what is Juneteenth? Because a lot of people, they don't know or they don't have the right information. So Miss Alle, how would you answer that question?
Absolutely. Juneteenth is a celebration of the excellence of Black individuals in America, starting in Galveston, Texas in 1865, where the rest of the slaves were freed at that moment. So that's kind of the essence or surface of what Juneteenth is.
Very well. So let's talk a little bit about the history of Juneteenth within Fort Wayne, within the community, because I know that there are deep roots when it comes to that. So let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, in the early 90s, we had leaders such as Miss Joanna Icegold. She did the Harambe Festival in Fort Wayne. We also have leaders like Chief Condra Ridley, who had a program at the Pontiac Library to teach about history. And we also have Mr. Eric Hackley, and he did block parties in the community.
Okay.
So that was kind of the beginning of a sort of freedom celebration in Fort Wayne. And then Baba Kwaku Akan, he was the director of the Weiser Park Youth Center. And he started a Juneteenth celebration at the community center with Parks and Recreation. Okay. Yes.
And when was that? How long ago was that?
That was like
early 2000s.
Yes,
really? Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's funny because I wouldn't have known that because it wasn't really talked about. And that kind of brings me to my next point is the commercialization of Juneteenth. So just for example, before the set, I was given this amazing t-shirt. I couldn't wear it because it doesn't match my outfit tonight, but I was given this t-shirt. So I asked Miss Alle, where did this t-shirt come from? Did it come from Walmart? Did it come from Target? Because if you go into stores right now, there is an abundance of Juneteenth wear. And I think a lot of people believe that if they are donning the T-shirts, if it came from Walmart, that they are supporting.
Right.
And I think there's a beauty and an innocence in that. But in all reality, where did this T-shirt come from?
Absolutely. So 2 parts on that. Actually, Mr. Elisha Brown is the one that created the actual logo itself.
Okay.
And then defining trends, Dalen Banks is the person who actually prints the T-shirts and banners and everything else for
Okay.
us.
So you knew the person, we know the person that made the t-shirt.
Yes.
And he is in our community.
That's
So
right.
when we purchase items from Walmart, nothing against Walmart, but in an instance like this, we are supporting someone that we don't even know. So when we contact Mr. Banks,
Yes.
when we contact Mr. Banks for these T-shirts, not only is he providing a service to us locally, we can see him face to face, but in turn, we are paying for the items, which is supporting a Black business in the community, making the dollars stay within the community. So the commercialization, I think, is important to talk about, not just where we're getting our items and wearing them, but also let's talk a little bit about what people think Juneteenth is, because let's be real. I've actually been disgusted by some of the Facebook comments, and I said I wasn't going to go here, but here we are. There was a pageant recently for Juneteenth.
Okay.
Beautiful girls, great. It was a great thing. It was a beautiful thing, but
Yes.
people are angry about a beauty pageant. So let's talk a little bit about the commercialization and if you think the community is receptive of Juneteenth as far as what it is and celebrating.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a new holiday for everyone in America. Of course, many African Americans are familiar with it,
Yes.
but not everybody is.
Right.
And now that it's a federal holiday, everyone is curious about
Yes.
it. And depending on the rhetoric or the words or how it's presented to you, it may offend people.
Okay.
But it's all about education, and it's a lot of education out there, and it depends on what you read. But I say, you know what? When it comes to Black excellence, let's just, speak to me directly or speak to someone that you see off the street
Yes.
directly and just celebrate us instead of taking the route of, this is against us or this is not for us. You know what? The Macnificent Freedom Fest is for everyone and for
Yes,
everyone that
amen.
wants to celebrate freedom celebrations.
Yes.
We can keep it simple just like that.
Right. And I think go ahead.
Jill, you have said so many amazing things that I wanted to say something about,
Yeah.
but I don't want to back up too far.
You can back up.
So, well, but I'll stay right here. When you say it's for everybody, and I agree 100%, but I think some of it has to do with guilt that that people, a culture feels, and nobody's trying to guilt them. But I think naturally, when they find out and discover that, you mean to tell me Juneteenth is about Black people or slavery, and the white man holding slaves when they were supposed to be set free so he can come up, so he can keep
Right.
making his money,
Right.
tending to his field and et cetera, et cetera. So I think when they realize that that's the truth behind it, I believe, and that's just my personal opinion, I believe that that's one of the reasons why people believe that it's a Black thing.
Right.
It's a Black thing until people are excited about having the time off, right? Off work. And so
Right.
what I'm excited about is for the white people and the other cultures that embrace the holiday and that come out too.
Exactly.
At least I can speak for the Magnificent Fest
Yes.
because I seen them, they were there,
Yes.
but it would be awesome to see more.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm glad that you're speaking on that and bringing that for us so that they know that they are invited. All cultures,
Yeah, absolutely.
are invited.
And it's a great point. And myself, as obviously a white woman, I participated in the events last year, and I've never felt so welcome. I've never felt the welcome is the word, loved. It is for
Yes.
everyone, and just it's another reminder that pro something is not anti something. So celebrating Black history, Black heritage isn't discounting any other race.
Right.
So I think it's important to bring that up because we're still seeing a lot of that. And on the other side, I know that there are some people of different cultures who have asked me, like, can I come? They want to come, they want to support, but they're just not sure. So I'm saying to you, come out and support, because it's also about community.
And can I say this? Isn't it funny that some people feel like they need an invite, a special invite
Yes.
for this deal with this particular festival, but yet you can have the German Fest
Yes.
and Rib Fest or whatever
The
fest.
Arab Fest, all of
The
it.
October Fest. I don't know. Every fest you can think, right?
Yes.
But nobody has to be invited.
Right.
And then yet you look and there's every culture participating and enjoying the fest. So there's no difference
Right.
in this. And so I don't understand why some people feel like they need a special invite.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah. So, so the other thing is, just to keep it real, you have to have this conversation, try not to step on certain people's toes, right? So even, and you said, Jill, talk about it in our community. So, so I'm in the community, so there's some things going on. You can't help but know it's going on. And so I feel a certain type of way about it. I don't know the origin. I don't know the ins and outs about it. Don't really need to know all of that. But it's almost a heartbreak, kind of like Black Lives Matter, that we want everybody else to be concerned and care and acknowledge Black lives. But yet we continue to tear down our own Black brothers and sisters and families and friends, etc., or events, etc. And so I have a problem when Juneteenth come up in our city. And it's because I know people on this side, I know people on the other side, and it puts you in a terrible place. Because you want to embrace, but more than anything, you would like to see us stand for what we keep talking about, unity. Yeah. And if Juneteenth, being that, you know what I mean? Being that it was as powerful as it was as a movement, as a time in our lives, in our history, it seems like we're going backwards. And it's almost like slapping the whole movement in the face. Like it's us against us when it comes to certain things. And so Juneteenth, I would like to see a lot more people, a lot more businesses, a lot more just organizations and families and friends and everybody come together in collaboration. So when you were talking, Elijah, at the beginning about the origin, and this person started this and that person started that. So they had the right idea, right, of doing things for the community. Somebody decided, well, let's do this Juneteenth and let's bring all these people together. Who was that?
That would be Mr. Adrian Curry.
Mr. Adrian Curry. So we definitely want to say his name, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of work goes into this, and a lot of work behind the scene goes into just the vision and thinking, let me pull my people together.
Yes.
Somewhere in there, I don't know what happened. It was something happened. We're not going to focus on that. But the facts are, and needs to be heard, and the truth needs to be said. We are neutral voices, and we like to bring awareness to our community, but we are pro-unity and pro-collaboration amongst our people, our family, and all cultures.
Amen.
And so I just wanted to speak to that. So I want to say thank you, guys, for continue to push through. And I know it's going to be awesome and amazing. And it's just going to get better and better as long as we can continue. But what I'm hoping for is that we can set it afire, ablaze, and everybody else can catch it, and it can just, get out of control.
Amen.
Yes.
And you mentioned Mr. Curry, which I'm glad that you did. I'll never forget the first time Mr. Curry came on, and he had the children. I say children, you're grown, but when he first came on with you guys, and the discipline and the passion, not just on Mr. Curry's end, but the youth. Bringing him up it brings me to another point that's important. So I think it was last year there was the passing of the torch, but I believe it was a ceremony per se. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
So that would be our Keepers of the Light ceremony, and we're having that again this year at 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's a 30-minute rites of passage ceremony where leaders of the community, they come together to take a pledge to support the Magnificent Freedom Fest. They pledge to be righteous custodians for the event, and they promise to follow the proper policies and procedures to protect our history and culture.
So when you accept that, the passing, that's a responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And an honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the actual event. So when? June 15th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
The first part of the event, it starts at a Weiser Park Youth Center at 10 a.m. That will be our Keepers of the Light ceremony.
That's the Keepers of the Light at 10 a.m. at Weiser Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's 30 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will transition to the AOC Promenade. We will start moving towards Oxford Street towards Optimistics.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
on the crossing of Warsaw and Oxford.
Okay.
And the AOC Promenade will officially start at 11:30, and we will be strolling down Oxford Street, passing through businesses and hopefully seeing them out there celebrating. There'll be vendors and such. And the Macmillan Park will open at 1 p.m.
Okay.
And that's when the Freedom Celebration starts.
Very good. Are you going to be doing any step?
Yes, ma'am.
You know that's my favorite. And that's happening during the in the early part when you're going through the neighborhoods,
So,
right?
yes,
The step part?
it's happening all throughout the ALC Promenade, and the Art Leadership Center is also performing at 4:15 on the main stage at Macmillan Park.
Okay. So for someone who isn't sure what to expect, so I show up at the park, let's say at 2 o'clock. What am I going to see? What if you were to tell me what I was going to be walking into? Let's talk a little bit about, walk me through what you think it's going to be.
Okay. Well, the park will be full of all kinds of activities, starting with Brain Geeks Learn Children's Corner. That's going to be for all ages. We're talking about like 3 and up.
Okay.
We will have bouncy houses. We will have a horse and carriage. We will have face painting.
Okay.
A craft that has to do with educating everyone about the liberation flag, in which that's the flag that we stand by.
Okay.
Also, we'll have performers on the stage. We also have 3 tournaments. We're talking about kickball, basketball, and football.
I missed out on the kickball again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can come this year. We'll look forward to you.
I bet.
And then we also, of course, have vendors, all kinds of vendors, informational booths, food trucks as well, too.
Okay. As far as the vendors, we know no matter where you have the event or what kind of an event, it's more successful with the support of the community. So that brings me to as far as vendors, for example, can I still sign up to be a vendor? If somebody's watching, is it too late for them to sign up to be a vendor?
No, it's actually not too late. We do have a deadline, but we have
Maybe
a little
squeeze
grace.
them. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We would like more food.
Okay.
Because people just love to eat. So
Yeah,
the
we
more
do.
the merrier.
We do.
Absolutely. And I think that we have plenty of other vendors as far as selection wise.
Okay.
So yeah, just come on out, or not come on out, register on
Okay.
the magnificentfreedomfest.com right now.
Okay.
Before Saturday, and we can get you in.
Can you repeat the website?
Yes. The website is magnificentfreedomfest.com.
Okay. And also, let's say that someone cannot attend or they're not a vendor, but they're saying, you know what, I want to help. So donations, volunteers, let's talk about that.
Absolutely. We always need volunteers all the time. I mean, from Keepers of the Light, 10 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. During the tournaments, vendors, and everything. So we need more volunteers. Again, we broke it down as far as exactly where we need our volunteers to be. So if you, for example, want to be at Brain Geeks Learn's Children's Corner, we can put you there. Or if you would like to volunteer at one of the tournaments, you can also be there. So you can reach out to me. That's Allie.Williams@magnificentfreedomfest.com, where you can email me, contact me, or you can also contact me on Facebook as well.
Okay. So that's for donations or volunteers
Yes,
or
donations.
anything like that.
Yes.
And I just have a question real quick. And the fest is over at what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So
Yes.
So any volunteer, you need them to stay till the whole thing is over, or
Well, you
how
know
does that
what? It
work?
depends on which shift they may pick up.
Okay, so
for
they got different shifts they can choose from. Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome,
So
awesome.
if they want to volunteer in the morning, they can do that for
Okay.
a couple hours and
Yeah.
enjoy the festival, or if they want to help tear down, and they can do that as well too.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you said there's a main stage
Yes.
with talent. What's going on stage?
Well, we have a whole list of performers from spoken word artists, poets, dancers, singers, just
Okay.
everything. And of course, we have our opening ceremony once the park opens. That will be the first part on the main stage. And we'll have a singing of the Black National Anthem and a reading of the history. And we'll go through the 7 Harambes as well.
Okay.
All right. So both of you are familiar faces, not just here in the studio, but in the community. And we know whenever we are part of a committee, it's a lot of work. So starting with you, Miss Allie, why do you do this? Why are you a part of this committee?
Absolutely. I am a part of the Macnificent Freedom Fest, one, because I do know the Currys, and they are the ones that helped started this. I trust them.
Yes.
They're trustworthy. They're very consistent, and I enjoy working with people who are consistent, honest
Right.
type of individuals, and I can do something with that. Also, with me just being part of for Brain Geeks Learn, this is a great collaboration. As far as just whether it's growing or just more education for myself.
Right. Before we move to Mr. Brown, let's talk a little bit about Brain Geeks. I know you're humble in that, but that's a big deal to you.
Yes.
So what is Brain Geek? What is that?
So Brain Geeks Learn is a educational children's service. I provided private one-on-one tutoring as well as specialize in workshops that are hands-on. I love to add like food and things like that
Right.
to teach the children, whether it be math, reading, or writing.
Gotcha. And how long have you been doing that?
Woo.
It's been a minute.
Yes. Well, it's going on technically 4 years, but we've been a nonprofit for 2 years.
Okay. And how can someone find out information about that program specifically?
Absolutely. You can contact me on either Facebook as well as on our page, Brain Geeks Learn. You can find that, I believe, on almost all platforms, social media wise. And yes.
Brain Geeks Learn. Gotcha.
Yes.
Mr. Brown, Elijah, why do you do this?
Well, I started with the Art Leadership Center when I was about 11. And Mr. Curry, he is the CEO of the Art Leadership Center. So I started there and I made my way to the Magnificent Freedom Fest. So I've always been interested in helping my community and just being a part of it in general. And I've found that this is a great way to be a part of it. And there's also levels in place to see how deeply you want to be a part of the community.
Right.
If you want to be surface level, if you just want to like volunteer or something, if you want to be a part of the Magnificent Freedom Fest committee, if you want to join a committee, you can do that and help put on the event. Or you can start going to the classes to learn more about the Magnificent Freedom Fest. And that's when you become a keeper of the light the following year.
Gotcha. And you being youth, we always talk about negative things in the community. Like, we can't do this. We don't do this. We don't come together, which that's all true. But let's talk about something positive for a second. What is something about the community, our community, that you love, that you think is just absolutely wonderful?
Well, personally, I love seeing all the beautiful faces out there the day of the event for the Magnificent Freedom Fest. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this event from everybody a part of the committee. So, and sometimes I think I could say that it feels like maybe it's not all worth it, but then you get to the day and you see everybody there and everybody's smiling and you see the children, they're happy, they're laughing.
Yes.
And then you get to the park and you see the people socializing and see themselves enjoying themselves. And that's when I think it's worth it.
Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Miss Allie,
Yes.
what do you love about our community?
I love the smiling faces. I love the creativity. I feel like here in Fort Wayne, we have so much to offer on so many levels. We don't get to all see it,
Yes.
but it's festivals like this where it's like they come out and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know you did this, or
Yes,
I didn't know
yes.
you provided this, or your food is excellent.
Yes.
So I love that.
Beautiful. Dr. V, we're not going to leave you out. You're in the community all the time with the business optimistics, just out doing events. What is something that you think is beautiful about our community?
About our community, I would say that the growth.
Yes.
I mean, the increase over these few years for sure, but and the speed of the increase. It seemed like after COVID things, it's like people was like, I'm ready.
I know, right?
And so it's like everybody just came out like, I got to get mine.
I want to live life.
Seriously.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
Yeah, so I'm just loving the energy right now of the community.
All good answers. It's good, I think, to talk about the positive things because there are
Absolutely.
a lot of positive things in the community. So, what else do you have coming up? Either one of you, events, something with an organization that we can help with. Let's talk a little bit about upcoming things.
I'd say one of the main things that I look forward to is our cultural cocktail fundraiser event.
Okay.
There's no date set for that yet, but when there is, it will be posted on the Magnificent Freedom Fest Facebook page. So this is our fundraising event, and this is where we get to see more of the community that support us,
Okay.
that truly support us.
Gotcha.
That's how I would word it.
Truly support. Gotcha.
Yes.
That's a good way to word it. And repeat it again. You said it was a cultural
Cocktail.
Okay. Okay. And we'll have more. You'll have more information about the date and all that. So this is kind of something that is in the works, but
Yes,
it's going to be
ma'am.
beautiful.
But we have it every year. We had it last year, and I think it went fantastically well.
Okay.
Yes.
Saw a lot of faces that I was happy to see, and it's just great to see who truly supports us.
Very good.
When you say
Maybe
truly support, so is it by invite or so how do you?
There are invites sent out.
Okay, so some people will receive personal invites, but yet
Yes,
the
ma'am.
community, everybody's welcome or
Well, it is our fundraising event. So,
okay, so the
yes.
community is welcome
Yes,
to
ma'am.
be there. Okay.
Are we going to get invited?
You guys got to be there.
Yeah, right. Miss Allie, do you have anything coming up for the is it Brain Geeks Learn? Yeah. Do you have anything coming up for that or
No, currently
Okay.
right now, I have some things in works, but I cannot speak on that right
they're
now.
secret? They're secret things. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Before we get out of here, I would really like to have one of you speak into the camera and just kind of let the community know why it's important to support these events. I don't care, black, white, Asian. That does not matter because a community is a community. It's a beautiful thing. So if you could just look into the camera and speak to those who are watching or those who are going to be watching and let them know why it is so important to support these events, to support your community.
Well, the Magnificent Freedom Fest is designed to systematically develop Renaissance leaders with the global conscience that embody 5 wills of leadership: well-read, well-spoken, well-dressed, well-traveled, and well-balanced. A Renaissance leader is a Renaissance leader. It's one that rebirths the community and revives it and pulls it up. It lifts up its community. That's what a Renaissance leader is. So anyone who is willing to do that and be a part of the Magnificent Freedom Fest, I would say is a great asset to the community.
Wow.
I
Renaissance
love,
leader.
yes, I love the words that you used. Revive,
Nice.
lift up.
Elijah.
That's beautiful. So again, June 15th,
Yes.
Saturday,
Yes.
starting at 10. The first event is at
Yes.
10.
10
Yes,
a.m.
ma'am.
10 a.m. Okay. And then it just kind of snowballs from there and we'll go until 6 p.m.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I know that I will be there. Neutral Voices will be there. I was going to say in the building, but it's outside. So we will not be in the building. We will be outside. Miss Allie and Mr. Brown, we want to thank you for being here with us. And also thank you for all of the work that you do in the community. We know that it is a lot of work. It takes a passionate and loving soul to be able to, be involved with those things. So I thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
And
us.
thank you for being with us. And as we always say when we exit our set, Miss V.
Always protect your mind. A podcast by Neutral Voices Media Group. In the Know.